Welcome to the Roger Report Live on the entertainment side. And I just checked out the movie Materialist. This is a movie about an interesting character, y'all. The main the main character in this particular film, Lucy, number one main character, who is a dating guru. She's worked with a matchmaking company. She just recently uh set up a situation where her ninth couple is getting married. So she's she's on the ball, y'all. She's on the ball, and she's introduced as when women get around her that they just fawn over her because it seems like Lucy, who's single herself, has the answers. But she has the answers, even though she obviously cannot apply the answers to her own life. So, a very interesting situation. But the women were just, dazzled by Lucy. Now, Lucy ends up, she's at the wedding. That's a good place to meet other bachelors. Okay. So she wants to form a relationship with the groom's brother. The groom brother is Pedro. And Pedro is not necessarily interested in using the service. What Pedro's interested in is Lucy. So he lets her know that right off Jump Street that, you know what? I'm interested in you, Lucy. I'm not interested in you as a dating service to match me up with someone else. I'm interested in you. Now Pedro's not just any guy. He's there. He's in finance. His brother is in finance. His mother is in finance. His dad is in finance. And the backstory that they gave us in the movie was at some point in time, the mother started a finance company, and now everybody works at the finance company. So these are very well-to-do people. But Lucy is was in a relationship with a person who just happened to be there serving at this wedding that she was invited to. He works for the catering company, and that's John. Okay, John is the 37-year-old guy that doesn't quite got it together. He's a 37-year-old guy with the roommates. He's yeah, I guess they wanted him to be awkward in some kind of way. And he's the guy that's not living up to his full potential. He still wants to be an actor, so he does a catering job to help pay some bills when he's not acting. So not quite where he wants to be in life. But he was in a relationship with Lucy, and they happened to meet right back at this wedding, the same wedding where she meets the rich guy, uh, Pedro. The rich guy Henry. Pedro Pascal is playing Henry. Okay, just to clarify that. So, an interesting dilemma. Now it's all about two men who and what kind of relationship they can supposedly have with a random woman by the name of Lucy, who happens to be a matchmaker. But of course, Lucy is great at her job. Now Pedro, or I should say Harry, no, he's rich. He's not hiding the fact that he's rich. He don't mind being rich, and Lucy's trying to use her matchmaker lingo to say she's no good for him. She don't know how this is supposed to work. He's a guy. He's 6 foot. He's rich. He's handsome. She says in her business they call a guy like that a unicorn. So he got it all. He got the total package, but she just can't find it in her heart to be with him or think that they will match. So of course she decides to be with him anyway, which makes the story take off. And now that John has been, she's bumped into John. So, of course, John invites her out to a play he's doing because, again, he is trying to be a professional theater actor. And John thinks, hey, it was great to run into her. Great to see her again. Heck, I'm doing this thing. I'm still chasing my dream. And she's like, you should invite me to your play. And of course, John does. Makes it, I'm not gonna say awkward, but invites Henry, her new boyfriend at the time, to this. So this is a love story about Lucy, John, and Harry, and who she should be with. Because now that John popped back up, hey, it's something for her to consider. But you got Harry now, who's this rich unicorn guy who is not really interested in your services, but more interested in you. And even though she does a great job at what she does, again, this all came about because she was able to go to the ninth wedding that Lucy was able to make happen between matching up people. And of course, everything doesn't go super smooth on that. They dive a little bit into what happens when a woman has a terrible date in these situations. So very interesting stuff. You hear things like you're gonna die alone. Okay. Yes, that was in the movie, y'all. You hear that, you're gonna die alone. You hear of some things that people out there, the women wanted somebody making six figures. They wanted somebody making who's at least 6 feet. They talked about different options that people have. Now, this was presented as a romantic comedy. And I'm going to say, y'all, real talk, just wasn't funny at all. The movie was not that funny. Okay. I like Chris Evans, he was in a tough position to be the guy who ain't got it together. And I guess he was supposed to be like the more regular guy instead of the unicorn guy. And the unicorn is the unicorn. And the regular guy is Chris Evans, the guy who's good enough to play Captain America. I couldn't help but to, not that he's seen as Captain America. Chris Evans does a great acting job. He's fantastic at what he does. But it was just a little funny knowing that a guy who could play Captain America ended up being the regular everyday guy. So that was just kind of hilarious in itself. But the movie overall, I'm just gonna say not that funny. It's a romance comedy. That's what it's listed as, a romance comedy. Not that funny. Would I see it again? Absolutely not. Now I've done a few romance comedies this year because I try to watch all the different types of movies. And like I said before, I'm gonna try to think about all the ones that I have done previous to on another channel that's not available that I have seen those movies this year. So I'm gonna put Materialist right under You're Cordially Invited, another romance comedy that is much funnier than this romance comedy, 100 times funnier than this romance comedy. So this one wasn't it. I appreciate the fact that Chris Evans was in the movie to kind of hold things together for me. So it's some level of entertainment because at least, I'm a fan of a lot of MCU characters or a lot of MCU actors, and I do enjoy some of the other movies that they make. And to my surprise, he was in this one because I don't really watch too many previews, so I like to just take the film in fresh as I can. So, a film that I'm not going to necessarily recommend anyone rush to a theater to see. You can wait for this one to come to television. You'll be just fine. Okay, so that's my take on The Materialist. And if you like this type of content and if you like somebody who's going to tell you the truth, no matter what the truth is, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel because I'll be having content like this dropping daily. And if you don't know, I'm Roger, I'm Bright, and I'm out.